Hi, I'm Joy. It has been another 2 months since my last update on our condo community EV charger project. The reason why I haven't shared any updates since episode 5 is because the drama continues and it's finally settling down. So now I can provide an update with a definitive direction on this project. In the last installment of this video series, I shared that we had to ditch ChargePoint in favor of Blink chargers, and that this project has been fully approved by our HOA board. Great news, right? Well, not so fast. After we told SCE the approval of the project to move forward, our office manager and I had a conceptual design meeting with our project manager at SCE the second week of August. While going over the proposed site plan, I noticed that SCE only designed 4 charging spots instead of the 6 that the ChargeReady team had told us back in June. We found out that SCE had an internal miscommunication where the ChargeReady team did not tell the engineering project team that they wanted us to have 6 spaces instead of 4. So this threw the entire project off course and caused even more delay. I tried pushing back, telling SCE that the engineering team approved the 4 charging space plan, which was what we wanted to begin with. And since it's not our fault that this miscommunication happened, they should honor the engineering team's proposal since it is approved. Unfortunately, ChargeReady team came back saying no way, and we need to have 6 spaces instead of 4. So the project manager had to go back to the architecture and engineering team to revise the site plan. Needless to say, this is super frustrating, and we weren't even sure at this stage if SCE was going to approve our application given the changes and our site restrictions. Finally, on September 29th, our project manager sent us a redlined revised site plan. Here's what's going to happen. Originally, we were looking at converting these 5 stalls into 4 EV chargers with the farther left with ADA compliance because it's connected directly to the walkway. But SE came back and said that just this area, the 4 stalls, wouldn't be cost feasible for them to do this project. So they asked us if we could open this up to 6 stalls. So we're going to include also these 2. But when we had the architectural review, preliminary approval review meeting with the project manager, we found out there was a miscommunication between SCE groups that the ChargeReady rebate program people didn't tell him that we actually needed 6 stalls instead of 4 stalls. So the project manager, the engineering manager, only did the costing for these 4 and not those. So we had to go back, or they had to go back and look at the site again. And they came back telling us that with the 6 stalls, we would need to have 2 ADA access stalls. So we just got the markup, the red line revised site plan. And what they're telling us is they're going to make these 2 ADA compliant. And then this stall will, right now there are 2 stalls. This is just going to be 1 for ADA van parking. And then this one will also be ADA, but we would have to convert this area into an ADA compliant walkway. So when people park here, they can access this instead of going around behind the cars, which is dangerous. And that would mean that these 2 trees will have to be removed, and then this area will have to become concrete for ADA compliance. So I am hoping that my fellow board member will be okay with it, and we can finally get this project approved, officially approved with SCE. We can get them to come out and upgrade the charging infrastructure from the panel there, and then we can trench it and install the Blink chargers. And also, because these two are going to be ADA compliant stalls, these two have to be single chargers. So initially we're thinking 3 dual chargers covering 6 charging spots, but they said no. For the ADA compliant ones, they must have their own charger. So it's going to be 1, 2 single port chargers, and then 1 dual port, and then another dual port over there. So this is the latest development of this entire project that has been going on for over a year. And fingers crossed that this is it. I personally love the cherry blossom tree at the corner of the walkway and the building, and am sad that it will have to be removed. I was also worried that my fellow board members would not like the idea of removing these mature trees. However, I am happy to report that the board approved the revised site plan and will think of another location nearby to replant the trees. Another point that won the board over was that SCE will pay for the tree removals and creation of the new ADA walk path. We only have to pay for rerouting of the irrigation line. While we were waiting for SCE to come back with a revised site plan, we were also thinking of different ways to create 2 ADA compliant spaces. Just to be prepared, we reached out to Blink and requested a revised quote that included 2 single pedestal chargers and 2 dual port chargers instead of the original 3 dual port chargers. Blink came back with a total cost of $22,100 for everything, which is about a $2,200 increase from the 3 dual port quote we received initially. However, since we will be receiving a 50% rebate from SCE ChargeReady on these chargers, we will be getting about $11,000 back. This makes our final out-of-the-pocket hardware and maintenance costs from Blink to be around $11,000. Additionally, our electrician originally estimated $6,500 to install 3 dual port chargers, but since we now have to install 4 chargers altogether, we estimate that the installation costs will rise to about $8,000. This brings the total project cost to us to about $19,000, which is still well under the originally approved budget of $25,000 from last year. So the dust seems to have settled for now. Our next step is to have SCE generate an agreement for us to review and sign, and then work can be scheduled to update our charging infrastructure at the future EV charger location. As I mentioned earlier, this project has been going on for over a year. So if you're watching this video and you would like to have your apartment or condo community install EV chargers, please be prepared for a long process that will be frustrating at times. What kept me going and fighting to get this project through in the last year has been the growing number of residents wanting to switch to electric cars and showing support for this project at HOA meetings. Of course, the high gas prices here in Los Angeles helped to change people's minds on the need for EV chargers on site as well. I will report back on this project when we get to the next stage. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video, and God bless.